Hey friend, in today's video, I want to walk you through how I became the number one velocity account executive at Clio. I'm going to share with you 5 proven strategies that worked for me, and I know if you apply it to your role, you'll become the number one AE in your segment at your company. So, this was in context before I get into the five strategies that I worked at a tech company called Clio for 3.5 years. It's a legal tech company in Canada. I'm Canadian. Clio's based out of Vancouver, but it's a Canadian company. And for the first year, out of 3.5 years, I was there. I worked for the last 2 years of my time there. I was account executive there. And from the jump, I was number one AE there for MRR. We track MRR for the year. It's also number one AE for self-sourcing my own deals. So we call it outbound MRR. Both years I was an AE. And that allowed me to become the number one AE across the segment. So I'll walk you through how that worked, right? So the first thing I did in order to be successful and become the number one AE is that I prospect every single day. And the thing is that I see a lot of account executives who they let me say they make excuses for not prospecting. Oh, I'm busy. I have to write these emails. I have so many demos going on, and I have so many reports, and build up case studies. And I get that because I've been AE. I get that. But the reality is that you must be disciplined in order to. Hey, I just want to pause the video for a second and share this with you before we go back to the video. I know self-sourcing your own deals and building pipeline consistently can be challenging, especially with also running your own deals, right? And I'm actually running a workshop. It's a free workshop for 30 minutes where basically I walk through the best 5 ways that a tech sales rep like yourself, AE, can self-source deals fast and efficiently with the most effective pathway forward. And in order to get access to this workshop, it's pretty simple. There's a link below this video. Click on the link. Just put your name and email in. You'll be on the list and you'll be notified. It's 30 minutes. It's on Google Meets. It's virtual. And I guarantee you'll walk with one nugget of a tactic you can use to self-source your own deals and build pipelines predictably every single month. All right, so let's go back to the video. Here we go. You must be disciplined in prospecting because that's how you build your pipeline. And yes, you can get your marketing leads, and that's important. And your BDRs might bring some leads in your calendar. But in order to become number one, you have to be able to self-source your own deals, and that's going to come by prospecting every single day. No excuses. For 2 years I was there, I never missed a day. Now you might be thinking, how is that possible? The first time I did something called calendar blocking, which means that you put a time in your calendar you can put in. It could be prospecting, dials, building pipeline, call it what you want, but it must be in your pipeline, count your calendar every single day. Now I did 1 hour per day, and it was I had such a point where even some SDRs would bug me like, hey man, I'm trying to book a demo for this lady at this time. Can you move that calendar block? No problem. So what you can do is put the calendar block there, make sure it's free, make sure it's open. So what's going to happen is that you have that time there, you're ready to go. Now, if somehow an SDR or a BDR books time on that calendar, that time, no problem. Just shift it and move it someplace else. So keep it open and free for you to be able to get inbounds coming in, but also know that if nothing else comes in the calendar that day, as far as the inbound, there you go. That's your appointment with you. And that alone is the first step, because that's going to allow you to make a consistent rhythm of prospecting every single day. As you know, the more people you touch and talk to, the more conversation you'll have, the more obviously the opportunities you can create. So prospecting every single day, time blocked for 1 hour in the calendar, no excuse, no negotiation. That's number one there. Now, number two, now that you have that in your time block, what are you going to do? Who do you reach out to? The reality is, as you know, most AEs, you have so much time. You have limited time, right? Because you're running demos and doing other things that are important to bringing in deals, review calls and stuff. So your highest leverage point to prospect to, which is point number 2, is focus on close loss ops. That's what I did. I focused on close loss ops. I did 100% of my time at Clio. If it wasn't a deal, it's inbound, I would do close loss ops. That's the highest leverage. Why? Because they already know they had the pain. Because looked at your company in the past. So the product aware, the problem aware, which is a huge 2 things, and there's trust there. So I have to reach out, and also there's some context. A lot of times there's notes in the closed loss op you can reference to, so you can write a very customizable email, or when you call them, you can say, "Hey, so and so, I saw that you were looking at whatever company in the past. I noticed these things were a challenge to you. Does that still exist for you now?" And you'd be amazed how many people made so much money calling closed loss ops, and sometimes it's just timing. So that's what I focus on. Now, that was then. Now that I know about tech sales, what I would do, what you could do, is on top of focus on closed loss ops, also focus on competitors. So say you close a deal. Well, and it's like, for example, say you close a deal with a law firm. Your software helps law firms. Well, maybe also reach out to the competitors and say, well, because if law firm A love your software, I'm sure law firm B has the same problems. They can use it. Law firm C has the same problems. Law firm D, and use your messaging to say, "Hey, so and so, we recently helped law firm ABC overcome these challenges with our software. Do these problems resonate with you?" Over to a conversation. There it is. So that's what I would do. So you're prospecting every day. That's the first thing. The prospect you're going to focus on is close loss ops and go after competitors of the closed won deals in your company or the ones you did yourself. Now, here's the third one. This is very, very important. I picked up the phone. I see so many AEs that are afraid to, or they'll feel they're too big to pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, pick up and dial, make some calls, prospecting calls, right? I've seen so many AEs. All they was want to just put these prospects in a cadence and send the emails out, and hopefully they'll ping you back, or they'll click on your calendar and book a meeting. Of course, that's the dream. We all want that. But if everybody wants that, everybody's doing that, then you're pretty much average. How do you separate yourself is you pick up the phone. Now, how it works is this. How I did is here's why I did it at Clio, and how I do it now. How else I do it at Clio? I would just rip some dials and just call close loss ops. Call them, out a nice script, and work really well. Now I know what I know now. What I advise you to do is I would look at the closed loss op. The first thing I would do is I would create like a 5-step cadence. The cadence would be email, phone, LinkedIn, phone, and email. So if I have on closed loss ops. Maybe put more if you want, but my point is this, right? The first thing should be an email, a very personalized email based on the closed loss ops. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, man, that's a lot. That's very time consuming. Well, no worries. You know what? On my link below this video, I'll put my video, which shows you a very simple ChatGPT prompt. Now, all you have to do is take the closed loss op notes, and it generates a very powerful, tailored, personalized email that gets response from prospects. So you take that personalized email, boom, step one. Step two is right away after that in the sequence, you call the prospect. You call them, because there's a stat that says that right here, when it comes to cold email conversions, it's usually about 1 to 6% on B2B sales. Now, if you use both phone and email, or more than two channels, the conversion rate jumps up to 28 to 37%, higher conversion. So just the fact of you emailing the prospect and then calling them afterwards, you're almost 5xing your chance of converting it into a book meeting and obviously becoming a deal. Now, it is right. Obviously, don't call their whatever place. I find the best place to call people nowadays is their mobile phone number. Call them. If it goes to voicemail, chances are it probably will. Leave a voice message saying, hey Jim, hi so-and-so. I see you looked at so-and-so product in the past. Curious to know if that's still a challenge for you. I sent you an email. Please look at the email and respond back to me if it makes sense. That's how you're going to do it. And then give them a LinkedIn touch. By doing that, you up your chances of a conversion because you're letting the voicemail lead them back to the email you sent them, which is personalized email. So we have prospecting every day. You're going to focus on number 2 is close loss ops, and go from competitors. Number 3 is I'm going to pick up the phone, not just rely on email, multi channel prospecting. Number 4, what I did is I set very ambitious monthly sales and annual goals, and annual career goals. That's very, very important. I remember the first meeting I had with my manager when I became an AE. He's like, well, what's your goal? I go, well, my goal is I want to make over $100,000 a year, and become a senior AE. He's like, cool. And in the 12 months, I achieved both goals. And yeah, so and then on top of that, I learned that on top of that, which is key, is important. I used to set monthly goals for my quota. At Clio, we used to have based on MRR per month. I know a lot of tech companies is ARR per quarter. We were MRR per month. So what I would do is I write down my goal, but I write down my goal in a way that was phrased to exceed my quota. Say your quota, for example, is $5,000 per month, or whatever it is your quota is. I would always add 50% on top of that. So, for example, I'd say for this month, I earned or I generated $7,500 MRR. I'd always aim high, like shooting for the moon, because if I miss, shoot for the stars. If I miss the stars, I hit the moon. I see a lot of people, they just focus on their quota, and sometimes they fall short. Well, how about aim higher than your quota? Because then if you miss your aim higher, at least you hit your quota. That's the thing I noticed. I write it down every single day, pen and paper. And the third thing I did is that I anchored that goal to a why. So you have your goal, you want to earn this kind of money, that's cool, but why? Because why is 10 times more powerful than the how. And why, for me at the time, I wanted to buy my first house. At the time, my wife and I, we had a daughter at the time. We have two kids now, but at the time I had one daughter, and she was two or three, and we're in a basement apartment, one bedroom. It was really just, I was like, I need to get, and she used to live. It was there wasn't a lot of light, and I was like, I need to get my daughter her own bedroom with some light and her own bed. So that was my focus, and thank you, by God's grace, I was able to work hard, and I was able to buy our income. I was able to double my income through tech sales as an AE, and then I was able to buy a house. My daughter got her own bedroom. That was my why. So you anchor to your why. That's what drove me. That's what drove me to aim high and to really focus on the goal, is to have anchored by a why. And the fifth thing I did to become the number one EE at Clio, the velocity segment, was I outworked everybody. Other reps where I would say maybe better when it came to the skill acumen of sales, like they have better win rates. If maybe I did 10 demos in a month, or they did 10 demos in a month, my win rate might have been, I'm just putting it out there, it might have been 3, and maybe they did 4 or 5, whatever I'm saying. But because I went outbound and prospected, I brought in more self-sourcing conversations, and I had more conversations, I closed more business because I just really worked harder than everybody else. So I'm not saying you should spray and pray or hustle and grind to into the bone, but there is a fact that sales is a numbers game. It's a numbers game. So the more people talk to, the more opportunities you have to win and help them. That's it. So there's also one last thing. This is a bonus tip that really helped me become number one velocity at Clio, and it can help you too. Is that I would always show up to the call as a way to help solve a problem for the prospect, not try to sell them something. And I remember when I went through a little slump there, and I was talking to an AE who was really crushing it at the time. I was like, hey man, listen, I'll go through my demo with you, and you show me things where maybe I'm missing out. So I did a mock demo with him, and he goes to me, Ian, your product knowledge is cool. It's not the problem. But you're doing a presentation, not having a conversation. So presentation is when you're doing all the talking and click. We call it a harbor tour. It's almost like, and just talking, showing the features, all the features. He says, focus on having a conversation. Ask questions, go back and forth, ask why, go deeper. And when you frame it that way, you're there to solve the problem, not trying to sell them. Trying to solve the problem, you can ask questions and be curious. You can ask him, will this work? So just having a little shift between showing up to the call to solve the problem instead of selling helped a ton. And at my last month at Clio, just making those adjustments, I had my biggest month ever at the job. So hope this blesses you. Hope you got value from these tips. If you did, I like you, just hit the like button or subscribe to the channel, and I'll get you more content every single week to allow you to crush your number and achieve the financial freedom that you're looking for as an account executive. Take care.